Hey y'all, it's Rick here with Uncommon Communion. Good Thursday morning. Yes, it is the morning when I am recording this. I did want to record before I run out to get to work. I got home last night and was pretty pooped, but I did want to take just a few minutes this morning to follow up on the video post that I left yesterday afternoon, evening, prior to going down to a vigil for the woman who was killed by the ICE agent yesterday. And we now know that she is 37 years old. Renee Nicole Good is her name. And she has a child who now no longer has a mom or a dad, and a young child. And we need to say her name, Renee Nicole Good. We need to remind people, your friends, your neighbors, the people that you see today, remind them of what our government is doing and what our leaders, our Congress people, our trusted servants of who are government agents, what they are doing to our fellow Americans, to people who are you know, like the people we're talking to, and it is absolutely insane, y'all, where we are with this. I do want to share the psalm today, and I do want to begin, as we always begin, by recognizing and realizing that we are always and everywhere in the holy presence of the more and each other. So, yeah, it was really important for me to be there last night. And this was at our city hall here in Columbus. About 200 people gathered, which I thought was pretty impressive, considering that this only was announced, this gathering, this vigil, candlelight vigil, was only announced a few hours before it happened at 7 p.m. And it was fortunately low key and somber and respectful and nonviolent. I went back and listened to the video that I posted yesterday when I was pretty hot about this and pretty concerned, and fortunately, not to my surprise, but to my great pleasure and great gratitude, it was not violent. It was anything but. And that is absolutely essential. And I haven't seen news reports today about the other gatherings, the other protests, the other rallies in Minneapolis, and I imagine elsewhere around the country, but I hope they all were nonviolent. Because violence is what the ICE agents want to provoke from us. Violence is what the regime leaders, because T-Rump is not in power anymore, not fully. He is being run and manipulated. He's a weak, frail, demented 79-year-old who's being controlled by the powers around him that he put into place. And that is what they want. They want violence. They want chaos. They want confusion. They want disunity, all those things. And we can't give that to them. And we didn't give that to them last night. The news media was there. I haven't looked to see the local media, how it was covered, what stories they posted, how long they were, what angles they took, and so forth. But there were at least 2 news stations there, local news stations. And that's good because other people need to see this. I think we as a community need to know that we are standing with immigrants and standing with courageous people because, Renee Nicole Good was a very courageous person. She was there. She was monitoring this. She was doing what a citizen, what a person of goodwill and good intent should do. And she died because of it. She was killed because of it. So now our task is to hold accountability to the one who pulled the trigger, the one who shot at least 2 or 3 times. Our accountability is to the leaders who immediately began to spin this and manipulate. If you look at the text, the truthy thing that the T-Rump put out afterwards, absolutely despicable, absolutely disgusting, and absolute lies and garbage. And we need to call that out, y'all. We need to call that out. So I'm calling my senators today and tell them that they must investigate this. They must put together a resolution immediately and investigate this. I got 2 Republican senators, and they need to hear this just as much as anyone else does. All right, I do need to get out the door here soon. I do want to read Psalm 8 for you because it is the 8th of January. It's a bit of a shorter psalm today, and it is one that takes a theme that is really pretty common in many psalms, is a natural or nature or creation centered focus. So we'll end with the reading of this, and then I will bid you a good day and take my dog out and head to work. Psalm 8. O grandfather, our great chief, your name is highly honored in the land. Your shining greatness reaches far beyond our sacred mountains into the world above. The cooing sounds from the mouths of nursing babes and small children have more power than your enemies. They are enough to silence the voice of all who fight against you. When I meditate on what your hands have made, when I gaze at the night sky and into the world above, when I see the moon and stars you skillfully set in their places, it makes me wonder, why do you think so much of humanity? Why do you watch over human beings so carefully? You made them a little lower than spirit messengers. You placed a headdress of honor on their heads. You chose them to watch over all the works of your hands. You have put all of creation under their loving care, to watch over the sheep and cattle and all wild animals, the winged ones who fly in the sky, the fish of the sea, the great creatures who swim the pathways of the sea. O grandfather, our great chief, your name is filled with beauty and is highly honored in all the land. All right, y'all. The kiddos, the talk these days about touch grass. Well, I hope you do that today, y'all, especially recognizing that in the created world all around us and within us and between us and among us, God is there. And especially as these difficult days, and I do know we're only 8 days into the year, and what have we seen already? We've seen some pretty horrible things already by our regime, by the dictator who is running this country. So y'all, let's take heart, let's take faith. Let's remember that we're in this for the long haul, and this matters. Every bit matters. All right, y'all, blessing and good. Be bold, be gentle, hold fast, y'all.